now. Um, so, hi guys. Welcome to our first official joint team call. My name is Claire. I'm joined by my Success Club partner Nicole. So we're kind of combining our teams, mine, Passion Fit Dynasty, and yours, Nicole. Oh my gosh, Firefly Nation.
Yeah, I finally have a team.
Firefly Nation, I nailed it. It is Tuesday, September 13th of 2016, and our topic tonight is going to be vital behaviors. I apologize if I'm kind of like spastic right now, looking around and juggling everything. But since it's our first call, obviously, Julie, you jumped on our first one last week, but, kind of what we guys want you to know, kind of like the expectation of what we're going to be doing here and our structure. And I kind of talked about it a little bit last week, but, we're going to be running our weekly calls on Tuesday nights at 8:30. Unlike, kind of in our bigger network, we're saying, this is your required call every week. You're more than welcome to jump on the other team calls like Drop the Cookie or Danielle's call, but this is obviously your requirement. It's kind of like part of our daily behaviors, which we'll talk about, because it's important to kind of check in with us and check in with your team so we can talk about our goals, the things we're struggling on, and obviously the things that we're working on, so that we can kind of all work together and hopefully end the year strong together, and then from there on after. So I don't want to blub too much, but kind of what I want to talk about how Danielle and I work together. We've been Success Club partners for, oh God, I've not been counting, but since like February.
Yeah, I think February.
Since February. And something that Nicole and I started doing, we started doing this kind of over the summer, but we got really serious when I came back from the wedding, is that she and I have our own weekly calls. We actually did ours right before the call. We might keep doing that, actually. But we kind of wanted to model our team calls kind of off the way that Nicole and I do our calls, because we basically set goals for ourselves, and our individual goals might be a little different from each other. They might not be the exact same, but we're working off the same things. And then each week we revisit that. We talk about our struggles. We may vent a little bit or a lot. And obviously we work to prepare our team calls and how we can better work our team. So we're going to kind of do the same thing with our team calls here, to talk about our topics and then talk to you guys, and because we want to hear from you guys, kind of like what I did with you, Julie and Loretta, last week. We want to open it back up to you guys, not just for questions, but we want to really hear from you what you want to work on, and then talk about our goals for next week, so that each week we can kind of check in about our progress and kind of do the same thing. Sound good? Sorry,
Good.
rambled for a long time. All right, so you want to take it away, Nicole? Did I hit everything?
I think so, yeah. And I'm just realizing that the Zoom call makes my hair look red.
It does.
So it's interesting, because last week it was like black. Anyway, I digress. So some of the first things that we wanted to talk about were the daily coach behaviors, and really behaviors for anyone who's a challenger and has purchased a fitness program or drinking Shakeology, behaviors that we should be focusing on every day. So first and foremost, you guys have seen my sweaty selfies. Sometimes not the best looking, but I get it done. So working out, making sure that's a priority. So we're in this business because we believe in these products. We know what they can do for our lives as well as the lives of those around us. So we really want to make sure that we're driving that home and sharing that with folks and letting them know what the value is behind those products. So we're not here to push things. We're not here to try to sell. We're in this business to make a difference. But in order to do that, we have to be a product of the product and share those workouts. So however you do that, whether it's in verbal conversation, posting a picture, whatever that means to you, just make sure you're getting it done and sharing the outcome. Secondly, my second favorite thing to do, actually it's probably my first favorite thing to do, drink Shakeology. So make sure that you're doing that every single day. Mix it up, share your recipes, just make sure that you're sharing what the value is behind that. So it's not just your average protein shake, it's vitamins, minerals, prebiotics, probiotics, nutrients, all of that stuff mixed into one delicious shake. And you want to make sure you're sharing about that, because a lot of people, if I'm being honest, I didn't know about Shakeology and what it entailed until I started drinking it. So those are the types of things we want to be sharing with people, but also taking that time for ourselves every single day to fuel our bodies. And lastly, the other thing I wanted to chat about quickly, so important, and Claire and I just talked about this before the call, something super important but very easily overlooked is making sure you're taking time for personal development every day. That doesn't mean, you have to preach the personal development. It's really for you, and taking 10 minutes, 15 minutes every single day to read a book, listen to a podcast, do something that's going to benefit you and those around you. For me, I listen to podcasts in the car on my way to work because I really don't have a ton of time otherwise to dive into that personal development. Great podcast is The Shalene Show. So if any of you have done PIO or Turbo Fire, Shalene is a Spitfire and she tells it like it is, and her podcast is top of the line. I am obsessed with her. And then when I read certain books, You Are a Badass is phenomenal. If you have not read that book yet, you need to do yourself a favor and go out and purchase it tomorrow. Jamie, you may have gotten an email earlier. I emailed you a copy of You Are a Badass that you can listen to for free on Audible, which is an app through Amazon.
I did. I got that. Thank you.
Yeah, so you should listen to that, even if it's in the car for a few minutes a day.
Sure.
It's like the best book, and it's hysterical. Like I
can't wait. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Say something, Claire?
I was going to say, I didn't know that you could do that. Like email?
Yeah.
Oh
so
my
you
God.
can send someone a copy of any of the Audible books that you have, and they'll get an email that they can just download it for free.
Oh my God, I'm going to do that with all my coaches now.
Right?
All my books. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Look at the perks, Julie.
Yeah, right?
I know. We're going to slowly, I got Nicole hooked on Audible, so we're just going to slowly get you guys hooked on Audible.
I don't even know what it is, so whatever, I'm game.
So yeah. It's
so awesome.
Yeah.
Like for me, and Claire especially, I mean, in the last year, let's be honest, we're all busy. We don't have time to hardly do anything. So sitting down and reading a book is great. At the beach, I love to do it. If I have a few minutes, I'll sit outside when I'm cooking dinner or something. But it just doesn't fall in my priority list. So car is awesome. Hey, Riley. So just wanted to share that little nugget with you guys and make sure you understand the importance of doing that. Honestly, it's going to transform you in so many ways to hone in on that personal development piece.
Sorry, guys. I knew that was going to happen.
That's okay. No worries. So that is the first chunk of your daily behaviors and the vital behaviors in order to jumpstart your business and your day.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and my last little plug I want to say about the personal development piece is, and we will have a call solely for personal development. But until I started using Audible, I didn't understand the power of starting and finishing a personal development book. I used to do a ton of personal development by like listening to the new wake up calls and listening to top coaches and searching random top coaches on YouTube and listening to stuff on YouTube, but I was randomly listening to stuff instead of actually reaching for a book or a topic that I needed to work on that I was struggling with and actually listening to that book cover to cover. Mm-hmm. And that was a game changer for me. And I think Nicole can say the same thing. I think the book that really changed me was Compound Effect. That had a huge impact, at least on my mindset and the power of what stuff can do. And then since then I've listened to You Are a Badass at least twice, and I'm probably almost a third way done because it's that good. So, keep that in mind too, but we'll come back to that.
And I think that's a good segue too into the next topic, because honestly, You Are a Badass is the only reason I ever took the plunge and posted anything on Facebook. It really teaches you how, excuse my French, how to not give a shit. And just do you. Put yourself out there. You're only going to help people. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. So yeah, that's actually perfect because, the next core element of, our vital behaviors is, expanding our market. And that covers a lot. And in my team page, you probably heard me talk about cold market, warm market stuff. But, since we kind of have a combination of new coaches, more seasoned coaches, and things like that in here, so I kind of want to talk about, obviously, Nicole already hit on the value and importance of being proof for the product, which means doing our workouts and doing Shakeology and posting about it. So in order to expand your market, you need to continue to post. And so I think we talk about the importance of posting 2 to 3 times a day. For me as a new coach, I think my goals were posting a minimum of twice a day. And Nicole, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the algorithms in general, I feel like they're always changing, but I think the algorithms right now have been 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Is that right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And do you want to explain what you mean by that?
Yes. So what I mean by that is, yes, you can post whenever you want. I'm not going to police your posts, and I'm not going to be like, oh, you posted at 9:01. That's not good. We're not here to say that. It's just, if you want to get the most viewership on your post, if you want to expand your network, get the most amount of eyes on your posts, you really should be posting within those time frames. Or if you have a kick-ass transformation post it in the more highlight reel times, aka 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. If you're posting it at 10 p.m., you might miss a lot of people's eyes because a lot of people might be going to bed. If you're going to post at noon, yeah.
Guilty. You guys can't see me, but I'm raising my hand.
But we've all done it. We've all done it. And it's not to say that you can't. It's just, it kind of goes back to the whole point of, if you really want to grow your network, you want to get a lot of eyes, you want to increase your likes. And it's not just about getting likes, because we all know people still watch us. But the more likes that you get on a post, Facebook will generate more, I don't know what I want to say, volume towards, viewership towards that post. And same with Instagram. All the social medias kind of work the same way. Mm-hmm. So it's important to post at a minimum twice a day. I think for new coaches, focus on morning and evening. I think that's a kind of a good way to do it. If you kind of want to do more, my daily goal is usually 3. So I kind of usually do, morning, evening, in the middle of the day might be like a puppy post or a fashion post, or who the heck knows, something like that. Okay, so another core element of expanding your market is friend requesting. And as a new coach, I didn't do this at all because I didn't see the value of it. Because as a brand new coach, I was like, I really need to focus on messaging all the people in my current market, which I agree is important, and I think you should focus on that. But I frankly didn't start friend requesting people until January of this year, and I've been a coach for over a year. So I didn't friend request people for the first 6 months of my entire business, because I was like, I don't need to do this. So there's 2 sides of it. I think you should be friend requesting. I think friend requesting is actually the easiest of some of these behaviors. To be honest, you just click. It's not too difficult. And it's easy to start by doing friends of friends. And obviously you don't want to be friend requesting willy-nilly. Think about your market and think about the people that you would want to be talking to and forming with. Like, I think when I first started doing it, I was requesting guys from high school, and then I was like, I'm not gonna message these guys from high school. I was like, no. So be smart about it. Obviously, I think for most of us, our target population are women, probably around our age, things like that. So it's easy to start with your warm market of friends, and maybe starting with 5 a day. And there is a column in Facebook where you can go, if you click the friends tab, I think it takes you to an area where people you may know, and that's another good place to go. And you can I think it even takes you into a search area where you can search people in your hometown, your college. That's a whole other layer about it, but stick with it. You can honestly go to a friends page, and you can, how I friend request people, once somebody has accepted a friend request, or I go to people in my network or friends, I pull up their page, I go down their friend list, and then if they have 5 or more friends in common, I'll friend request them. But I'm at a different, Nicole and I might be at a different place now because we really are trying to grow our market. So I might not have 20 mutual friends. I might have less than that, but I have a special new form message that I send this person because I'm now requesting friends of friends of friends, if that. But anyway, that's a whole new way to build your cold market is what I'm doing because I've exhausted my warm market. But so that's extremely important because in the first 6 months of my business, I had exhausted my warm market. I had talked to most of everybody that I was going to probably talk to in my warm market, and I was like, oh crap, now what do I do? And I was terrified, and I was like, I don't have anyone to talk to. So that's why it's important to be bringing people into your business, because it kind of goes back to the whole post thing. The more friend requests that you're doing, you're bringing more people to your page, and ultimately more people that you can talk to and network with. And just because they don't message you back if you do a no form with them right now, doesn't mean that in a year from now that they might be fully interested or fully ready. So there is a lot of value with that, so don't discount that now, even if you're a new coach. Okay. So that kind of brings us to the importance of checking in with challengers, which I'll kind of get to in a second, but some kind of daily behaviors that Nicole and I do, and I don't necessarily have a system or structure for this, and maybe we'll talk more about this down the line, but kind of as I'm going through my news feed during the day when I'm not doing a power hour, aka don't necessarily do this during your power hour unless you have a specific allotted time frame to do this, but I'll go through and I'll like on potential people that are in my market that I want to either work with or who I would like to be in my group. So I'm liking their posts and I'm commenting on their posts and I'm trying to love on them, and it's basically kind of like it's an easy way. It's like you want to love on them. You want to love on these people, and I think what happens is that if the more communication that you're having on their posts, I think if Facebook allows them to get more viewership of your posts, I think your posts kind of will also pop up on their news feeds. So the more that you're loving on other people will also generate more viewership to you. So it's mutually beneficial. And like how my coach got me, she started loving the shit out of all of my posts for like 8 months. And I was like, wow, this girl actually genuinely is interested. She actually genuinely cares. And let me tell you guys, she cold invited me for 8 months and I didn't give a shit about those messages. But the fact that she was loving on all of my posts made a huge difference for me. So I don't like I said, I don't necessarily have a formal system for that. And if you do it during your power hour, I highly recommend setting a timer for how long you do that, because you can get really lost in scrolling through Facebook and doing activities like that. So, it's kind of more of like in the middle of my day when I'm bored and I'm already on Facebook, I kind of do that. So, because you don't want to get lost in Facebook scrolling. So, loving on potential coaches, potential challengers. It's also equally important, like I mentioned, to follow up with your challengers. And this is something that I know that I've not always been the greatest on. I think Nicole can relate to, especially when you're super busy. It's hard enough to do our power hour, and then I think what overwhelms me sometimes is like, oh my God, I have over 20-ish challengers. Now I need to send them a weekly message. So I'm still working on trying to develop a better system for how I do this. Luckily, the app is making this easier for us. We can send them messages in the app and things like that. And right now we have a killer challenge group, so it's kind of, right now we kind of really know exactly what's going on with our girls because of it. So I'm not too worried at the moment, but it is important to check in with your challengers just as much as it is to check in with your coaches, because if you don't keep in communication with them, what's to say that they'll stop working out, stop doing their shakes? If you don't know their goals, you don't know that they're struggling, it's important to keep that communication with them, whether that's weekly, monthly, however you want to set it up with them. It's important to do that, and it also helps strengthen your downline, which we'll talk about in a whole other call someday. So communication with your challengers, and the last bit, sorry, I've been like super winded, Nicole, is inviting, which obviously is a huge pillar of vital behaviors. And don't worry, ladies, we have a whole call dedicated to inviting that we will spend a lot of time talking about. But everyone's daily numbers might look a little different. If you're a new coach, if you're been in the business for a little bit, even Nicole and I's individual inviting goals might be a little bit different. But as a new coach, obviously we have to be doing our workout and drinking our shake and posting and all of these things, right? But in order to actually have the ability to grow your business and run challenge groups, you have to invite. And that's kind of the only way that we can actually be here. And it's scary and it's terrifying. But I think as a new coach, it's really important to invite at a minimum about 3 to 5 invites a day. And that can be a combination of whether it's coaching or challenge group invites. But as long as you're kind of inviting and talking to people, but if you're assuming you're doing friend requests, follow-ups, and check-ins, that usually makes it easier to invite the more conversations you're having. So, okay, sorry, I kind of slammed that.
That's great. I was just going to add, so about the invites, so I'll be 100% honest. This is the part of being a coach that makes me so uncomfortable. But one thing that reminds me of the importance of it is the fact that if no one had invited me, I wouldn't be here. None of us would be. So you need to think about the top 3 things that I talked about initially. Those are the things that we wouldn't be doing had we not been invited to this business. So keep that in mind. You're helping someone, you're reaching out, you're sharing this opportunity with them. Use that to your advantage. Let them know what this has done for you. What's the worst they're going to say is, no, it's not for me. Okay, that's fine. Move on to the next person. Who else can you help? It's about building relationships and helping people and trying to understand where people are struggling. So keep that in mind. Invite people. Don't be scared. The worst they're going to say is no. They're not going to hate you for it. I promise. Listen to You Are a Badass and get those invites out.
Yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to say too, so obviously Claire touched on a lot of things about expanding your network. So keep in mind, none of these are required behaviors. This business is going to give to you what you give to it. So keep that in mind. You don't have to do all of these things. You don't have to post on Facebook. I don't have to post on Facebook. I do it because I want to reach people and I want to help people with their goals and I want people to see what I see and what I feel and what I do. So keep that in mind. We're not going to police you. We're not going to tell you need to post. You certainly don't have to. But these are the things that work to help you grow your team and grow your business and expand your network. Sorry, Tam.
Yeah.
So to kind of piggyback off of following up with people, so a couple of other things that are pretty crucial to our day-to-day vital behaviors is not only touching base with challengers, but also ourselves touching base with the challenge groups. So you guys know as coaches that you reach out and you hear from Claire and I to touch base with you as you're participating in a challenge, but we're also checking in with the group regardless of if they're directly our coaches or challengers. So you see us every day post in that app and say, how's it going, guys? Keep the momentum up. Let's see your pictures. Let's see those sweaty selfies, those shakes. Here are some tips. So checking in on the group as a whole and not necessarily just with individuals is equally as important, and it keeps that mojo going for that entire time. Same goes with team page check-ins. So Jamie knows my team page is about a week old. Still in its infancy, but I'm trying to check in every day and just let them know that I'm here and that I want to help people and I want them to grow. Whether or not they're an active coach or a discount coach, I want them to find value and feel comfortable in this atmosphere and really create a team environment regardless of what everyone's goals are and how different they might be. And then lastly, the only other check-in that I tend to do is with training groups. So any new coaches that are coming on, I want to make sure they feel welcome and they're checking in and they're asking questions and they're getting answers. And if I'm not checking into that group to see if they have questions, they're not getting answers and they're not able to move forward. So super important that we're checking in there too. If you're a newer coach, you may rely on your upline. So you may rely on Claire and I to bring your girls into trainings and help them along, which is fine. But just know that that's something we're going to be honing in on. We're going to be checking in with those girls and answering questions for boys. answering questions, and trying to start conversation to make sure things are progressing so that folks can move along.
Sorry,
caught you in a full bite.
I know, this is like the grossest team call, so I apologize, guys.
We forgive you. We all have to eat.
I know, I was dealing with dog issues earlier. To piggyback off of what you said about the team check-ins and stuff like that, Billy, we kind of talked about this on Sunday, when we were talking about different team pages and stuff like that. But Nicole and I so want to be a resource to you guys and to our teams. We recognize that our teams are small right now, but eventually, we're going to keep growing and expanding, and that may take time, and we don't really care how long that takes. But because we're here to be a resource, we are definitely not here to police things. So we are going to check in. I know my daily goal is to post in the team page at least once a day. I might, sometimes on the weekends I might be a little bit quieter, because personally I kind of believe in giving myself a little bit of a break, and I kind of want to give respect to you guys as well. I know I said that, and then like this week I was like so fired up and I was posting a lot. So I want you to know that we're not here to slam you guys with stuff. If we are sharing a lot of things, it's because we likely have a lot of resources that we want to share with you guys. But that being said, it is still your responsibility to come to us too with questions and concerns and struggles and stuff like that. Julie and my girls obviously know that I'm doing monthly one-on-one calls with you guys. So obviously we have that set up. But, we're trying to, follow structures that have worked really well in other teams. And so I don't think Nicole and I necessarily believe in blasting our groups every day with like, here's all the stuff that you need to know. We expect that you guys will work hard, try to research answers for yourself, utilize the resources in our team pages, and kind of come back to us for questions and support too. So
yeah.
There. Okay, so we're going to kind of take it home with recognition, which is actually a really new vital behavior. I shouldn't say really new, but Carl kind of rolled that out, like, I don't know, maybe a spring or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's always been there. It's just not been focused on, so it's nice.
Yeah, exactly. Like stepchild or something. So, so recognition, we kind of used to focus on recognizing challengers in groups to highlight their progress and transformation stories and stuff like that. But we recognize the huge importance of recognizing our coaches. And, Nicole and I might have small teams and stuff like that, and our team pages might be building and growing, but I know it's an extreme value and a goal of ours to constantly be recognizing the big and little accomplishments and the invisible victories, if you may, that you guys are doing and working on. And you'll want to do the same thing for your team and your coaches and things like that. It doesn't have to be just rank advancement or income that you're getting, or the coaches that you're getting. Obviously, it's important to highlight, any kind of the little steps and the daily work that you're putting in. And don't think any of that goes unnoticed to us, because it doesn't. So we really obviously value the work that we see from our coaches. And actually just in our call, Nicole and I were talking about ways that we can post weekly to kind of amp up our own challengers right now, because Lord knows I want to keep this vibe going, because they are crushing it. And I think, so we were talking about like doing a post this week of like or maybe a few of the challengers to really kind of celebrate who's really kicking butt and showing up every day. And I'm sure as the coming months we'll and there's different variations you can do. There's a lot of challenge groups do prizes, do different recognitions that way. Some coaches even will do challenger transformation posts. As opposed to doing a personal transformation post, they'll post a transformation post from their challenger, which actually is a really cool way to do that, because that's you literally highlighting a success story from your business. So that's obviously, you will want to obviously get permission from whoever you share with ahead of time.
I make a picture real quick and like.
Yeah. Exactly. So, which Julie, you have an incredible transformation post, by the way. You better believe that I'm going to be asking you for your permission. It's clearly incredible. So yeah, so that's recognition. Anything else to add to recognition, Nicole?
No, I think that's it. I think, well, I guess I would say the only other thing that I would add is when you see somebody else, you know, shouting to someone from the rooftops and recognizing them, obviously giving that support is just as crucial. So I think, you know, you've probably seen some of our uplines recognize folks for things, and us just commenting on that to reinforce the encouragement and the engagement and stuff like that is just equally as important. So that coach knows that you're cheering for them and you're in their corner, and same for the challenger.
Yeah, definitely. That kind of creates that, I don't know, that fun collaborative team vibe that we're all, you know, kind of in this together. I know Danielle's got a pretty good vibe of that going when she posts a lot of her recognition stuff in her team page. She also has a lot more people in it right now, so maybe that makes it a little bit easier. But I know that, you know, I know Julie, you and Loretta are pretty good about that too.
Yeah.
So, but obviously, you know, continuing to do that. So, yeah, so those are kind of like the pillars that we wanted to talk about. I know we have a small call tonight, but I think kind of how we wanted to take it home, Julie, is kind of do what we did last week and just kind of talk about maybe things that you feel like you are struggling on the things that we talked about tonight, and maybe set some goals. We can all set goals together, actually, all three of us, about things that we want to work on and this coming week. Maybe check in next week to see how we do on a particular area.
Okay.
Yeah. So is there anything that we talked about, like of the vital behaviors that you feel like you're struggling with or want to work on at all?
Well, the one thing, even like we talked about last week, I feel like is still, I guess, like the hardest for me is sending those like brand new messages to people that I like don't know as well. Like I'm comfortable like checking back in with the people that said no, because I've already like established that conversation with them. But it's like there's so many people that I feel like I could talk to that I haven't, but I'm like so nervous about it because like maybe they're a coworker and like I don't want to be off-putting or like. So that I think is one of my hardest things. And then one of my other things is like following up with all my challengers, because I have like I've had a couple people like go inactive and cancel, and aside from David, I think I have like 9 other girls, but that are all like actively getting shakes and actively like working out. So for me to like be checking in with 9 other people every week, it's like, you know, in addition to talking to new people that I don't know yet, like I always feel like they kind of get shafted, which I feel so bad about because like, you know, they're the ones that are already in it and going strong. And like, so that's why I think I was telling you, I'm thinking about starting like a team page. Not that I have a team anything, but like, you know, almost like a page just for the girls that are in my challenge groups, so that like, at least if I don't remember to send them a message every week, like, you know, maybe in that I'll be posting like a general, like to all of them, like asking about their workouts or giving like tips or a recipe or like something like that. So that way I think it'll make it maybe a little bit easier to kind of keep track of them, and then they can kind of bounce ideas off each other instead of like only me like cold messaging them every week, like, hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? So that's my goal, is because I started making the page already, but like I just don't really know what to do with it. So like, I like started making it and it's just kind of been sitting there. So my goal for this week is to actually kind of get that up and going and get my girls in it, because they're doing like all but one of them, because she is on like vacation in like Tokyo or something insane, like are doing the team the health vet this month.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice that like I'm constantly seeing them posting on that, and I'm like, you know, liking and commenting, but it's nice because like all my girls are in that group. So I'm hoping that they're okay with carrying over to like a group page just for them.
Well, I've definitely known coaches that have done something like this. I think And that's what I'm really, it's awesome to hear that you're trying something different and doing something new. It's not necessarily something I've done, but I definitely know coaches that have done it. And I think it can be a great way to have a forum for your challengers. And all you can really do is try it out and give it a whirl, you know, and then you have the power to control and message your girls. And that might be a really great way to check in with everybody. I will say, sometimes the hard thing with doing a group thing is that the group think, the more people that are in it, makes them feel like they don't have to participate necessarily. So if you were to do a post in there, be like, how's everyone doing? You know, I think sometimes it makes it easy for people to not respond if they're not, I don't know, if they did go inactive or something like that.
Right, they kind of might just wait. Oh, well, somebody else will do it. Right. I mean, I've been there.
Right.
Like, I'm sure somebody else is going to post on it. Like, I don't have to.
Yeah.
You're a teacher too, right? I'm sure you get that in school.
Yeah.
I get a lot of I ask a question and they all like look at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, one of you has to like be able to raise your hand and tell me what I'm looking for. Like,
right. But that's not to say that it won't work or be successful, and I don't want to steer you off whatsoever. So, all right, great. Well, sorry, so we have about a minute left. So, Julie, I think maybe to focus on is, and I can post in our team page possible new form scripts that I've used in the past. New forms are hard, I think, across the board anyways, because it's kind of a 50-50, like they'll respond or they won't. I mean,
right.
Probably less than 50-50, to be honest. A lot of my new forms don't message me back. So I can post it on our team page. So yeah, I would focus on new forms and getting that group off the ground between now and next week.
Yeah, that's definitely my goal. So quote me on it.
Okay, I'll hold you to it.
Please do, because if you don't, like, I am like procrastination central. So I will do it.
I like your honesty. Good. All right, awesome, lady. Well, we can wrap up here. So thank you so much for jumping on. I will post the recorded call on our team page, and I'll share the link with you to the call if it doesn't generate that way. So yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Thanks,
guys. All right, ladies. Have a great night.
You too. Bye, girls.
Bye.